But last year, we also started another program, the Stop and Swap program, which is actually has already been running through Grow NYC, another nonprofit organization, and they've been doing these swaps throughout New York City for several years now, about a decade, I think, or more actually. And we brought them on into our program, Donate NYC, because it's about reuse and keeping durable goods still, keeping them, extending their life, I guess. And I've been brought on to reach out to organizations to participate, whether that means just to go to the swaps themselves and partake in the swaps, or to drop off things that they no longer need, but also primarily to take a donation at the end of the event, because basically the swaps are for residents to bring items to a central location within their neighborhood, drop off things like clothes, houseware, toys, and they can take things, they can just go to take things, they can drop off things, and again, they can swap as well. And usually at the end of these events, there's a lot of unswapped items left over. As I mentioned in my email, sometimes there's usually 100 pounds of items left, more than that, in larger swaps. And so I reach out to organizations within the neighborhoods where we're holding these events to see if they're able to take them, things like pantries, churches that have clothing distribution, or other kinds of programs where they are able to still provide to those in need. So yeah, I'm glad you were able to reach out back to me, and thank you so much also for forwarding the email to the other groups. They did reach out to me and were interested in either taking items or dropping off items. There was a previous swap on Saturday in Staten Island, and that was in the College of Staten Island. The next one is on the 14th at Clay Pit Ponds. And that's on a Wednesday, and it specifically, usually we'll take all kinds of different things that residents bring, other than furniture and large items. Usually it's clothes and books and hardware, electronics, that kind of stuff. But for this particular one on the 14th, we are looking for just toys, clothing for kids, infants, strollers, that kind of stuff, any baby care or child related thing. We are planning to also have another one in Staten Island. We just don't know yet when, but there will be a third one that we'll schedule before June of 2023. So yeah, that's what the swaps are in a nutshell, and what we are looking for in organizations to participate.
Great. Can you put in the chat when the next Stop and Swap?
Yeah, Stop and Swap.
And then maybe a way to contact you. So the idea is that there'll be items left over at the end, and the pantries could go pick up.
Exactly. And any organization, I mean, individuals themselves, if you're just interested to go, you're welcome to go. It's open to anybody and everybody. If you just need to drop off stuff, that's totally fine as well. We just ask that anything dropped off gets dropped off by 2 o'clock. The events are from 12 to 3, but we'll accept donations between 11 and 2.
Okay. Good.
I'm trying to get to the chat. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone and figure it out. But basically, we have a website with the schedule. It's grownyc.org/swap.
Okay.
And my email, my email is adugan, Alpha Delta UGAN,
Okay.
at dsny.nyc.gov.
I can put that in there too.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. So sorry, I can't access it for some reason.
No, that's fine.
Did anybody have any questions?
Okay.
I do, but I'm trying to find my reaction button. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Happy? Okay. Anything else?
That's all for me. I guess if you could, if you don't mind also putting our website on there, Donate NYC.
Right.
It's usually nyc.gov/donate NYC. Yes.
So I have a question.
Website too. So grow nyc.gov/donate.
nyc.gov/donate NYC. Oh, so the GROW website is grownyc.org/swap.
Well, it's on the website. Well, I'll get that posted in there as soon as possible. Jody?
Yeah, where do all the donations go? The ones that people can bring things in, people can take things out, but where do the things that you bring in go when no one else wants them? Do they stay on Staten Island, or do they go
Exactly. Yeah, so that's, as I mentioned earlier, I'm tasked to find a local organization. So ideally we find a local pantry or a church or an organization within the near the event to take the items. But if we don't find anybody, then we'll reach out to a Salvation Army or a Goodwill to drop them off there. But like I said, ideally we would really want it to make it like hyper local and just keep it within that within that neighborhood. We are trying to hold 36 events throughout the city, so they're not always going to be in that same neighborhood each week. So every week it changes location, as you will see from the Grow NYC website.
Thank you, Alice. You answered all the questions.
Great.
Okay. All right. I think that might be correct finally. We'll see. So let's go on to Cornell Extension nutrition classes. Nydia, you want to start?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Nydia Vasquez. I work for Cornell University Cooperative Extension Program, New York City. I teach nutrition workshop to parents. Also, we teach in New York City public schools, starting from 3rd grade and up. I personally work in group homes, domestic violence shelter, and I also work with some of the youths that are in jail. And what we do for the adults, we teach the lesson, we come to you. We also do free food preparation. Of course, the workshop is free. So the only thing you would have to do is just provide the participants. The workshop is 8 weeks, once a week, for an hour and a half, maybe 2, depending on the recipe selection. What are the lessons? We talk about the importance of physical activity. Then the other lesson will be fruits and vegetables, the importance of eating different fruits and vegetables. Then we also do label reading. And with label reading, we show them how to measure the fat, read the labels. All right. And we also show them how much sugar is, let's say, in a bottle of Pepsi, so they can see it. The workshop is hands-on. But because COVID have changed a lot, for us, it has been, you know, good in a way, because now we teach virtually to participants that normally we couldn't reach. Now we can reach them through Zoom or Google Meet. So you have the choice whether you want in person or virtually. The difference is that in person, you get to taste the food. Everything is hands-on. And virtually is fun too, because then we do like a cook-along. And they also get to involve the kids at home. So that is wonderful too, in a way. They get certificate. And the certificate, some people use it to put on their resume, of course, to boost it up. It's from Cornell University. But also they use it that many places can take it for a job. You know, again, the workshop is 8 weeks, once a week. You choose the day and the time that you would like the workshops to start. I also work on weekends, Saturday, no Sundays. But you know, people are working these days, so sometimes they can't take the workshop during the week, so they might want it on a weekend. We're very flexible.
So you could match somebody's pantry schedule then.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing is that they, you know, they have to have kids.
Ah.
Yeah. Family, yeah, they have to have kids.
I don't think
Or
that's a
we
problem.
also teach grandparents that are raising their grandkids. They are responsible for the meals. It's fun, hands-on. We teach food safety too. The proper way to defrost your meats. You know, why should we wash our hands? Feeding young children, that's another activity that we have. You know, you do by example. Kids are like sponges. So everything they see you do, they're gonna do it.
Anybody? And any questions?
My email and my phone number is in the chat.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, I am recruiting workshop starting January.
Okay.
Interested, forward January. If you can't do it January, again, the workshop is 8 weeks, once a week. You know, if you can't do 8, we'll do 7.
Okay. Sammy Rod has a question. Sammy?
Hi, yes. So I think my question is like, do you have any opportunities where people to come to like community events where you could kind of like maybe do like a test trial or kind of like interact with community members where they could do like a little 30-minute or 15-minute type of session? So maybe we can like introduce the idea to them before just them committing to
what I can do for you is do a presentation.
Okay.
I will do a presentation for you, but I do have to say, let me know ahead of time because my schedule get very full, but if I can't do it, I can definitely ask the educator if they are available to do it for you.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, definitely. We do presentations. Another thing, I teach Spanish. So I do my workshop in Spanish and English.
Excellent.
I have a question.
Okay.
For safety in the pantry for canned food, will you be talking about that too?
Of course, because we have to tell them about the dates. If it's dented, of course. And what would be good, let's say the pantry have food, for the food preparation, we use the food that the pantry have, like brown rice. I know pantry get brown rice, we do fried rice. fruits and vegetables, we'll make a stir fry with what you have, just to show them how good these foods are for them to use at home.
Okay. Heather has a question.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Yeah, you're delightful. I have two quick questions for you. One, does the program have to be like, a week in 8 weeks in a row? Or
Yes,
can you
every
do,
week,
like,
once a week.
okay, every week. You did say that. Okay.
Yep,
All right.
once a week, every week.
Okay, great. And then the other question is, you might have answered this already too, but if you have, various ingredients and you have them available and you say, hey, we have these, can you take them and do something with them? You would do something with what's available?
Yes, absolutely. This see
Okay.
how our, let's say, how our workshop works. The recipe go according with the lesson. Lesson, like the first lesson is the importance of physical activity. We always do a trail mix that day. Going forward, then let's say the next lesson is fruits and vegetables. So of course, we're gonna do something that include fruits and vegetables. And I know food pantries are very good for giving vegetables and fruit. And we'll use what you have available, because this is important for them to see how they can use it. Because I know a lot of people, I want to go to my food pantry. I live in Staten Island, by the way. And a lot of the times I hear people saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. They throw stuff away, especially canned goods.
And one is there a limit on the number of people that can be in the workshop? when it's in
Absolutely,
person?
good questions, yes.
Thanks.
18, we can start with 8 people to 14, the minimum. 8 to 14, no more than 14.
Got it.
Donna?
Thank you. Just a quick question, Nydia. You said that the folks who are participating have to have children, and maybe you said this and I missed it because I had to step away for take a phone call. But is there an age limit on this? Because the reason why I'm asking is
Adults. Adults. We teach adults with children, of course. And then, of course, we teach youth starting from 3rd grade and up.
well, the reason why I'm asking is I know that there is a real a lack of information in terms of our students. I'm here at College of Staten Island, and a lot of our students who live at the dorms who have access to kitchens and who can cook for themselves, but could really probably benefit in a big way by this kind of knowledge, because they don't really know how to. A lot of them don't know how to cook at all and don't really have a very good understanding about nutrition. So would college students be
They have to have children.
okay?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
teach parents.
All right, I hear you.
It's hard because you know what, in the past, we have discussed this with Cornell too, but our main focus is family.
I see. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I thought I'd ask, but thank you very much.
No, thank you for asking.
Okay, anything else? Anybody want to add anything? All right, so let us go on to Diana.
So much.
Thank you, Nydia and Danielle, thanks.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn, Diana.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Susan, for inviting me to this meeting. My name is Diana Malone, and I work at City Harvest, part of the network capacity team. Our main job is actually visiting food pantry, soup kitchen in our network, and part of our work is really looking to increase capacity through investment, providing resources to food pantry, soup kitchen. I'm glad that Nydia was talking about a lot of cooking. Some of the classes that she's offering. We are always looking for program provider like that to our food pantry, because I'm sure they could benefit from it. The reason I am in this meeting is because I wanted to talk about our retail capacity grant. It's a retail operational grant that we have launched recently here at City Harvest, and there's actually two food pantry that applied located in Staten Island. Hopefully one of them hopefully one of them or both of them could actually receive this retail grant. We would know the result until probably in the next 2 weeks for that. But this retail grant's purpose is really providing resources to food pantry to actually increase capacity directly through picking up food donation from the food retailer like supermarket, wholesaler, manufacturers. And this retail grant would provide different resources like refrigeration unit, freezer, potentially walk-in cooler, if that's something that they would wanna have as part of the investment, or actually another thing which is really important for this retail grant is truck, so they could be enabled to pick up food directly through those supermarkets or any food donors in our network. And part of this work, that's why I was connecting with Susan, is because I would like to shamelessly plug and promote this grant, because we would need help when it comes to connecting with supermarket retailer that currently not donating to City Harvest yet. I mean, I know you guys are familiar with City Harvest, and a lot of retailer are donating already, but you will be surprised how many supermarket around Staten Island that's currently not donating to food pantry. It doesn't necessarily have to be City Harvest, but I think there's still a lot of waste happening. So hopefully it's something that they don't look at like, oh, you guys are part of our shrink, you guys are the reason why we have all of this stuff, but hopefully it's something that they could look as helping the community. Food pantry actually do not cause the shrink in the store, right? But it's helping in the community, making sure that another person could actually take advantage of those donated items, especially with the inflation happening and a lot of like really shortage with food. Hopefully it's something that could help the community, especially the food pantry locally.
That's really very helpful. And I just want to add two things. Donna actually gave me some ideas. Mecca Mart, in terms of multicultural food, Mecca Mart, Island Kosher, Holy, what, I forget the name of it.
Schnitzel.
Holy Schnitzel. And then in the Asian market, I'm sure nobody, well, no, actually, I think Jamila has approached Mecca Mart, but I'm not sure that anybody's approached the other stores.
Yeah, we have.
You have?
Island Kosher.
Oh, great. Okay. But, Diana's looking for other stores and other connections. Any ideas? And this relates to one of the projects that's on the visioning list. And Jody has agreed to work on with me, making up a packet that we could take to, that any pantry could take to a supermarket and say, this is here's the law. And then, these are the kinds of things that we're looking for. And this is how we'll set a pickup, and do it on a regular basis and make it simple instead of very ad hoc. So, we're kind of working on this, and this is just another piece, a nice big piece of that puzzle, I think. Alice, Jody, and then Alice.
I just wanted to say Kathy Carlson from St. Mary's is also going to be working with us.
Okay.
Did I speak too quick, Kathy? You're muted. Oh, okay, good.
Right. Alice, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, thank you so much for that presentation. So you mentioned, Diana, that you outreach in Staten Island for these grocery stores and or places that could provide to food pantries with their excess. That outreach has been hard. Is that because they're reluctant to give, or is that just the capacity to reach out to all the, grocery stores and such in Staten Island?
I think based on the conversation that we've been having with some of the independent store owners, a lot of them are not aware that there is such thing as that they could donate. Some of them are already doing it to
Yeah.
like a small capacity, but some are getting some credit through their vendor. So they have to send back some of the items that got damaged or dented, or items that that short dated. They need to send it back to their vendor that they're working directly. But our goal is to hopefully educate them further. We do have what we call how to become a food donor, where all the information is included, the Good Samaritan law, what to donate, like just really good practices. And if it's less than, because our minimum to pick up for City Harvest is around 100 pounds, but if it's less than 100 pounds, we totally understand that City Harvest might not be able to pick it up, but we do have a network of food pantry, soup kitchen in Staten Island that would be able to actually pick it up. And hopefully that's not something that would discourage the store to actually donate the food. And yes, I could send a digital copy of the info too.
Okay. If you want to email, can you email a link or the actual thing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
could do that.
Okay, because then I can send it out with the notes, meeting notes. Or if you have the link, you can put it here now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? Okay, that's great. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Staten Island Justice Center. Sammy.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry about not being on camera today. I'm having some technical problems. But I'm very honored to be here. It's my first time. So today I just wanted to talk about two things really, really quick. I'm not trying to take up too much time. So the Staten Island Justice Center is, Staten Island will be having our first family enrichment center. And we are in the process right now. We have a solid place. We will be opening up on Beach Street around the Stapleton area. That's 10304. And we're looking for community partners who want to either have a partnership, whether it's coming to the center, us coming to your nonprofit, just creative ways for us to engage with each other, whether it's donations, flyers, uplifting each other. And we have two community events coming up. One is MLK Day, a service project that we're asking community partners. It's a better quality of life. And here we're asking if anybody wants to either facilitate or donate something to the community that, we are in the process of accepting that right now. So I'm going to leave my email and my contact information in the chat. And just, again, any nonprofit, whether it's a physical donation or it's a virtual, a class, we're really just looking to bring Staten Island together and kind of see what's out there and how can we all be united as one. And that's really it today.
That's great. It sounds like something Nydia might be want to follow up on, and then also Alice. I mean, if you're looking for stuff, I mean, it sounds like Alice has got some.
For sure. What was that? Was your email in the chat?
Yeah, I don't see it.
I just put it in the chat.
It's there. No. Okay, and I'll try to remember to include all these in the notes from the meeting as well. Okay, any questions? We good? All right. The next item on the agenda is nominating people for the chair and maybe secretary. Tammy's here. Maybe she could talk about that piece of it. Anyway, I wanted to really go over quickly what we've been doing in the past couple of years, because I think we've been doing really interesting things that we want to follow up on. Looking at the meetings from the last 2 years, there's three main themes. There's also some sub themes. One is multiculturalism. You know, we've had meetings about food insecurity in the Jewish community, in the Asian community, in the Muslim community, as well as with veterans. We've had really amazing advocacy programs, the legislative forums, and then the election, the candidates for city council and the borough president was another program that we did. And then small pantries. We had a meeting about small pantries, and then also the visioning work that we did at the end of last year. A lot of that was, you know, a lot of the ideas are in aid of the smaller pantries, like pantry swap program, grant writing, getting food, you know, from the supermarkets. So there's those three big themes. And I think that, so the election, which will be in January, it's for the vice chair. The chair next year is Terry Troya. Yay. Advocacy is going to be very well covered. And I'm thinking that it might be good to have as the vice chair, who then becomes the chair in 2024, somebody who picks up on one of the other two themes. And so the nominations are today and then also via email. Anybody want to comment at this point? Because, and I'll open it up for nominations.
How do we know who will accept a nomination?
Well, you can always ask. I mean, I have one. There's many good choices among the faces I see here, but I think that Chris Dowling would be a good vice chair. He's brought up a lot of the multicultural issues. He and his group did this great survey about what people really ate for Thanksgiving. That's on the website. And I think that he would be a really good choice to follow up on what we've been doing this year and moving into next year. I mean, it's good to have a lot of information, but you also want to be able to do something with it. Anybody?
Is Dr. Butts interested
That's so
in
sweet.
anything?
I appreciate you.
No, that's desperation. That's not sweetness.
I mean, I would defer to like others who might be more deserving than me. So, you know,
No one deserving, Heather.
You're making me blush. You're making me blush.
But,
I'd be happy to help in whatever way, but you know.
well, we will suck you in. Don't worry.
Okay.
Chris, what do you say?
I accept.
Ooh.
Thank you. Very nice of you.
All right, Chris. So, Dr. Butts, how about secretary?
Well, before
Going down the line.
before we get into that, let me just point out a couple of things about being secretary. I've been chair, but it's actually, I've been more secretary than chair. And it takes about 20 hours a month, not 20 hours a week, but 20 hours a month to set up the meeting, send out the MailChimp, set up the Zooms, and then do the meeting notes. Notes actually take maybe an hour, a couple of hours sometimes. It is not the case that whoever takes over has to be as obsessive about what's in the notes as I am and put in as much stuff. But I've heard that people generally like what's in the notes, that it's helpful. So I guess Tammy didn't make it, but we had a conversation last week. It might make more sense to find somebody like an intern or an RSVP volunteer, somebody who could take the time to, help set up the meetings and then take the notes and work with somebody, with the chair probably, and the vice chair, to highlight, things that should be in the notes, or to find other things that we put in the e-blasts. The e-blasts also usually contain an article. Laura Del Pret suggested, and I've been forgetting to do this, but it's a great idea, putting free or inexpensive workshops that people can take around food preparation, about advocacy. There's a lot of different workshops that we could do for free, or our people who work in our pantries could take for free, and upgrade their own skills. So anybody have any thoughts about that?
Well, I don't think that is my forte. I do work with a lot of young people who would be happy to support the wonderful chair and vice chair in those efforts, especially at lovely Columbia University, where I currently am sitting, and where some of you know I am a professor here. So I'd be happy to support whoever that person is, and support Terry and Chris with some of the technical and maybe other support that they might need. So if that is of interest, I am happy to work with y'all on that.
Yes, that is of interest. And I've worked with some of Heather's students, and the Clementine Project was just amazing.
That's who I was thinking of. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, and Diana, you met them too at one point, the Clementine Project. Basically, Heather would buy a crate of mandarin oranges and give them away at a deli around the corner from the Richmond Terrace houses.
Yeah, we're up to 6 now. We have 2 in Mariners Harbor.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
And I think also SIUH began to support it.
Yep.
Pay for it. So
exactly. Yeah.
From a little tiny idea with a few students to like this really amazing thing. Really amazing. It's not that easy to do. Great. Okay, good. So I think that might be our solution. A solution is to try to get somebody to be take on the job of the secretary, rather than having it be an elected piece.
Well, I think it might be also to do both, because you want an elected person to become familiar with the work of the executive committee to move up in leadership. But having an intern, someone that might be getting college credit or service credit, would be helpful. So Heather Butts having access to these kind of folk that could take the basic notes and not necessarily have to be the person running for office, could be the secretary who brings the interns to the table. Heather Butts, Dr.
What are you talking about? Who's this Heather Butts? I don't know.
He's not leaving you alone, that's for sure.
We're buddies.
Well, actually, Heather, why don't you introduce yourself? I'm not sure that a lot of people here know who you are and all the amazing things you do, but not everybody does.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Heather Butts. I am a assistant professor at Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health. Nowadays I teach basically about COVID. I'm a lawyer by training, but also have a background in psychology and education, and obviously public health. And I run a small nonprofit called Health for Youths. That if you've seen a little free library on Staten Island, or done some heard about like college readiness or any of that, online, we do that. We're a service provider, so we essentially provide services to other organizations. We don't have any of our own students, but we work with about 5,000 students, and we have 91 partner organizations in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. So essentially, we're the people that we get you what you need. We hope you get what you need. We run about, I'd say 7 or 8 workshops a week on everything from college readiness to career workshops to garden readiness. So that's why I'm interested in the nutrition program. And we've worked with some really amazing people like Susan and obviously Reverend Troya on a variety of different areas. And we're actually doing a toy drive now with Project Hospitality through the 16th. So that's basically what we do. We do a lot of helping people to identify what their needs are. If organizations aren't sure what they are, we can help them with an evaluation. Before my time in public health land, I was a consultant at Price Waterhouse and did a lot of work around evaluation for people. So we evaluate you, let you know what we think you need, and then we help you either get it or we get it for you through what we're doing or some of the other programs that we have. So that's essentially what we do, and it's all free, so nobody's, you don't have to pay for it. It's just free. So that's what we do.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Susan was referring to this thing called the Clementine Collective, which a group of my Columbia students created, which is brings fresh fruits and vegetables into bodegas around Staten Island and Washington Heights. So we have 2 Clementine Collectives here in Washington Heights. We have 4 in Staten Island, 2 in Mariners Harbor, 1 in Stapleton at Midway Mini Mart, and the long-standing one is Columbia Meat Market on Jersey Street. So basically we have fresh fruits and vegetables every day. There's stands located there, and people can go in and get anything from clementines to sweet potatoes to regular potatoes. Sometimes we have kiwis, we've had avocados, you name it, we have it there. And we replenish it on a daily basis. So we've been doing that for about 2.5 years.
Wow. Yep. Okay, just before we leave this particular topic, small pantries are, again, one of the themes, and I'm looking at Joe and Jody and Kathy, maybe think about what you might be doing in 2 years as, following up on the themes, Jacob's Well and the St. Mary's Pantry, and TLC, maybe, although TLC I think is pretty large at this point. And then also the West Brighton houses. That's a very interesting little pantry. So let's keep that in mind. But I think we're good for next year, for 2023. Sounds like. Joe.
Just wanted to mention, you mentioned Jacob's Well. I think we might be one of the closest pantries to the hotel where the migrants are. So we've been getting quite a few migrants coming into our pantry every week. We're up to probably about 30, 40 families that are coming in just from there. So we're in desperate need of food, particularly in non-perishables. So if anybody has any resources, we always have somebody available that could pick up. So this influx kind of caught us by surprise. We got probably about 10 new families coming in every week. So like I say, we're up to about at least 30 or 40 just of the migrants. They generally come with their families. There's a lot of children there. They kind of hang out for the morning with us. I guess they don't have too much of another place to go. So they kind of hang out in our parking lot. They have coffee with us, have snacks. But if anybody has any ideas for food, we're definitely in desperate need. So, and that's Jacob's Well Food Pantry, right on the corner, off the corner of Richmond Avenue and Victor Boulevard.
Okay.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
I'd like to get you a contact of somebody from
Yeah.
Project Hospitality working at the hotel.
Okay.
Because we're providing 3 meals a day at the hotel for them, and snacks in between the meals for them in the rooms, and also have done a massive effort to collect food. I just picked up pallets of food for them today.
Okay.
That there's no refrigeration in the room, and many people don't have can openers, although we have somebody that's buying can openers for people now, but like just be aware that they don't have the ability to refrigerate food
Right.
at all.
Yeah,
So
so
we're working on pop-up cans of tuna and chili and beans and things like that they can keep in the room, and have a big need for baby food for the kids, and we do provide baby food, but need for formula for the infants. There's about 23 infants, and I think more or less 24 on the way.
okay,
Yeah, and they're not taking the bus to get here either, you know.
right, right.
Joe, what are they? I mean, as Terry says, they're being fed at the hotel. What are they looking for when they come to you?
Well,
Just
we
to
give out,
us,
we give
maybe?
out like we give it a pre-made bag.
Uh-huh.
You know, just kind of lunch, dinner, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. They always take that. You know, there's milk in there, there's cereal in there, there's peanut butter, jelly, canned vegetables, canned soups, pasta. So yeah, they've been coming every week and, you know, and getting it. Like I say, they come usually with strollers. There's probably have about 10 kids every week coming, you know, with their parents. And I know they're getting food there, but they're also coming to us, so they're going through, yeah. Sometimes you get fruit and vegetables donated, but you know, we don't always count, we can't really count on that. That kind of comes, you know, not really scheduled. That just kind of shows up from one of the areas in the neighborhood, one of the community resources center.
Harry, you mentioned that there's no refrigeration in the rooms.
Yeah.
So what are people doing about like Joe, I think you said you have some pasta that you give out, but how are they cooking that?
I think they have access to microwave. From what they described to me, and there's always a language barrier, but they have like a community room that they have access to some microwaves and some you know, sinks and stuff like that they're able to prepare what we give them.
Okay. Just curious.
They are very small microwaves. They're kind of they're smaller than a commercial microwave, like the little ones that you put in a dorm.
Right.
There's 5 to 8 of them. They may not all be working at the same time. And there's 2 hotels, and they're located in the basement areas. And the food is brought in daily, the breakfast, lunch, and supper. We're working now on you know, getting feedback from local island potential vendors to assist us with the food at the hotel.
Okay. Anything else? Because we have 10 minutes left, and I want to talk about Thanksgiving and Christmas, the meals.
Susan,
And I'd like to. Okay.
I have a quick question. I just have a quick question about the student like help. I'm wondering if also you could use help sort of like for longer periods of time, as in if we had students that were assigned to you, because Columbia has a program whereby you can have college students that essentially are assigned for longer periods of time to be able to help with projects like this. And usually it's for like, it could be up to like 20 plus hours a week. So if that's of interest, I'm happy to, you know, look into that and put, you know, you and Terry on an email about that. It'd be like a long-term student that could help with, you know, projects that you have or specific needs that you have.
Actually, I don't know if you go to our website, sihtf.org, and then go pantry help for pantries. At the bottom, the visioning list, there's a whole series of projects that could use help.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
You could look at it too.
That's perfect.
Look for the visioning.
Is it okay to ask for people who are on the Zoom now to put their contact information, especially if people are here for a first time, in the Zoom, their phone numbers or emails?
Yeah, that's what I asked at the very beginning, but that disappeared. Yeah.
And that very little people have responded in that.
Well, it also depends on when you come in.
Yeah. So we're all here now. Maybe people could take 2 seconds to do that. That would really help to do follow-up.
Mhm.
And before it ends, Susan, I just want to talk about Food for All in the legislative forum to get a committee together, if you don't mind at the end.
Okay, well, you want to talk about that right now? That's the committee report?
Sure, okay. So, well, so one of the committees that we have is called Food for All, and it's really about the legislative advocacy portion of the Hunger Network. And we do a legislative forum every year. We have been doing it as a legislative breakfast, but we have been virtual for 2020 and 2021, and actually in 2022. And I would really love if there are people that would like to work on the legislative forum and on the issues and on the speakers. I want to propose now to lock in a date. We have a new mayoral administration who has a new director of food policy, and her name is Kate McKenzie. She comes out of HRA, and I had a chance to meet with her a few weeks ago. And
Not
thought
HRA, she's City Harvest. She might have been HRA earlier,
no, she
but
was HR. She was City Harvest. Yeah, she was HRA at one point, and
Right.
while she was at the city government level, right, she came out of City Harvest, but she oversaw the Hurricane Ida efforts for the city,
Mhm.
and organized that 2 years ago when that hit. So if anybody would like to work on the issues, how to present, putting together a panel, approving a keynote speaker, that should happen sometime. The forum should be sometime in February. As I said, we've been virtual and we've gotten a strong showing of people from the virtual. Of course, when you serve food, more people come, but it's also has its up and downs in terms of disease issues. So if you want to be on the legislative end, Food for All committee, just put your name and contact info down there. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so experiences with Thanksgiving and what we're looking to for Christmas. How did people get turkeys or chickens, or what did you get? And Samantha Talley is on the call too, so she might have some thoughts from ShopRite. Luann, what was your experience?
Difficult,
Yeah.
very difficult. We wound up buying our own for serving on the 19th.
Okay. Cindy, did you want to add anything to that?
We did have a group come in who was doing the cooking, and I think, Luann, they were deep frying the turkey and served it all. It had a little different flair to it. It wasn't a traditional American Thanksgiving turkey dinner. So I think that probably appealed to more people.
What made it different besides the frying?
I think the other sides they had with it, right, Luann?
Yes.
Yeah. What else did they have with it? They had cornbread. They had
Mac and
different
cheese. Mixed vegetables. A dressing that was very different. It was Southern style, and our guests appreciated the cooking. Cleanup was difficult.
Yeah. The Delta Society, sorority did the cooking. So they came out in force and did put a different Southern flair to the meal.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Chris, I don't know if you were doing, what kind of distribution you were able to do.
Yeah, well, we did our normal pantry, the Tuesday before. Unfortunately, that we usually were getting turkeys from a couple of different places. and being able to buy them through the food bank, and the food bank never had them. We were able to secure like about 48 roasted chickens, which we gave out, and then we also purchased some other things like some pork roasts and things through the food bank. So we had something to give everybody, but there was no turkeys available, but thankfully for Fidelis, they came through with, I think, 25 this year of their $15 Butterball coupons, which can be used for anything. So it's just a general, basically coupon that you can use at any grocery store. So they've been handing those out for years, and we were, again, recipient of those. So we gave people a choice. They could either take a chicken, a pork roast, or a coupon. So it worked out okay, but yeah, I mean, it was just no turkeys available at all. Nobody who normally had them, Metro Plus used to give us like 25 or 30 of them. They couldn't even get them. They gave us some groceries, so as a side to make up for it. But with everything that was going on, it was tough. But we had we were able to secure a bunch of other things like dressing, corn, some beans, traditional stuff. And we had the rice and we had the beans for to make the pernil and everything with. So it worked out pretty good overall, just no turkeys.
Yeah. Christchurch does a distribution about 250 boxes, and we had mostly chickens, but we get the money from Episcopal Charities, and the Toby there suggested what people needed was cooking oil, which we never thought about. So we put cooking oil in the boxes this time. Antoinette, it looks like you have a question.
Hi, yes, I wanted to, you were asking about turkey distribution and so forth for the organizations. So we had our annual event for Thanksgiving, and what ShopRite has done pre-COVID was better than what they've started doing. They've started giving gift cards for turkeys or whatever, and it just doesn't go over well with our community. The $15 is not sufficient to get a turkey. So that's what they've been giving us. We used to, in the past, we've had turkeys from Borough Hall. That didn't happen. Pre our current council person, we've used to have turkeys from that office. That didn't happen. So we did not have turkeys. We gave out gift cards, which was not sufficient in a community that is in a food desert. They're already struggling. There are no major supermarkets, and basically a high poverty line. So that's what I wanted to report back to the group today.
Okay, thank you. Terry, do you want to talk about that? And then maybe Samantha.
What do I want to talk about?
Well, what did Project Hospitality do in terms of turkeys, chickens?
I think Alex is on the call. Alex, you want to tell
Hey,
them what we did?
hi, sure. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? So yeah, PH, we had, like everyone else, it was a tough year. Access was very difficult. A donor that had donated 800 birds the prior year, the avian flu actually wiped out like 75% of that donation. So I'm sure that's one of the huge reasons of the turkey shortage. That avian flu really hurt hurt our access. Well, farmers felt it. It was felt all around, but we felt it, in a really unique way, unfortunately. But here, hopefully this next season is more, hopefully that doesn't happen again. And of course, we were hit by the gift cards. I understand, $15 wasn't sufficient, the price, and we're hit by inflation, of course, and wages aren't rising with that inflation, and so it's really just getting our communities that we're serving are really and us ourselves, are we're all impacted by that, right? So that is another thing. It was kind of a perfect storm, but City Harvest still came through with some turkeys for us. Food Bank came through. We also didn't get the Borough Hall donation. So the other pantries, y'all weren't alone on that. We really focused a lot more on chickens in a lot of places. So we did give out, we gave out still over 1,000 turkeys and 1,000 chickens a piece. So we were able, it was, I have to give a shout out to our whole team, working crazy hours, to get those donations in. I know me and Terry, we were at Bay Street I can't even remember which Saturday last month, but we were there and we took in a really great donation. And it was a tough year, but these tougher years make that impact, feel that much better for your teams. And so that's one way that we always try to say it. And I'm bird inclusive. I always include the chickens. I always include how many chickens we gave out too. So we really found that a lot of people actually appreciated that. So when on days we did have turkeys, and we were really grateful and fortunate to have them, we were able to offer, would you like a turkey or a chicken? And you'd be surprised at how many people would take a chicken instead of a turkey. But so that's our summary there. And of course, we're really looking to next year to really hoping that flu doesn't have a recurrence. Highly unlikely something like that would occur 2 years in a row, but we seem to be living in a strange time. So I wouldn't rule anything out, but hopeful.
Yeah, I just want to mention that at Christ Church, when we get cards, what we do is we use the cards to buy the food, which might be a way for Antoinette's group to deal with that. I mean, if you go and buy the food, you can distribute the food rather than sending people to the grocery store. But anyway, that's just a thought. Samantha, do you want to jump in at this point, or?
Sure. Well, I'll just say I can only speak on behalf of ShopRite. So I know that some people are saying $15 isn't enough. But I would just like to say, so over the course of probably October till where we did our distribution in the beginning of November, we hit about 43 organizations. It ended up costing us upwards of $30,000, which they were happy to donate. But the $15 increment is kind of where we fell. We were hopeful that people would use that to purchase whatever groceries they may need. We did get a lot of feedback that turkeys weren't solely what people were looking for. If you were, the $15 put you at, I would say, about 10 pounds. So it would be more like a turkey breast over a huge turkey. But it was certainly meant to be used towards shelf stable, towards produce. We weren't really looking to cover the entire meal. We were just looking to ease the burden of the families that were going to be receiving the gift cards, but also we had no problem with the pantries or the organizations using the gift cards to purchase the items and then giving out larger amount of items that really whatever they saw fit. So that's what I have to say on behalf of ShopRite, I guess. We've also been working pretty hard to cut out sort of the middleman. We've had a lot of organizations reach out that are more like groups saying, well, can we have gift cards or turkeys to donate to other pantries? We've been trying to work more directly with the pantries or the organization that's actually giving out the meals or giving out the food to families rather than giving it to someone hoping it goes to the right place. So that's kind of been an issue that we're trying to get around, but That's kind of where our total fell. So we ended up with 43 organizations that we donated to at around $30,000. I would say if you wanted a donation and you didn't receive one, I would send a letter early. We started getting letters around the end of August, beginning of September. And they definitely added up quickly. But that's pretty much all I have to add. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank you, Samantha.
yeah, thank you, Samantha. Thank you, and thanks to ShopRite. I mean, that's a lot of donations. That's a lot of food. Thank you. We're 8 minutes over. Does anybody want to talk about their committee work or anything that they're doing before we? Chris, it looks like you might.
Yeah, I just was talking with Kim Carbonaro, runs the Crossroads Foundation and the Mommy Store today, and she wanted to let me know that she was looking if anybody has any pantry items to donate to them. She would be more than happy to take them, because out of the Mommy Store, they also offer, a small selection of foods and all, but they've gotten wiped out and they've had nobody replacing anything recently. So they've been having a little bit of a budget crisis, and they haven't had much money to buy the food or anything. So just throwing it out there that if anybody, knows of anybody who has food, or if there's who wants to get rid of some, canned goods, whatever, dry staples, she'll be more than happy to take care of them. She likes to do it as a one-stop shop. So when a young mother comes in to get some clothes or some, stuff for the house or furniture, they can also pick up some much needed food at the same time. So they run a small pantry out of there. So just throwing that out there in case anybody can help out. By all means, my contact information is in the chat, and if you can help her out, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help to accommodate you.
Okay. Alex?
Hi, yes. So we don't have an exact date yet. So but I wanted to make everyone aware that our location at the base at Bay Street, we will be moving most likely in January. It's not all confirmed yet, but it's looking like it's gonna happen within the next couple of months. So we'll ask that the folks that we spread that word. We've been at that location a long time. So I just want to make sure that it's known that that location will be moving. And once we're confirmed and everything, I'll provide like a nice write-up that we can share. But and we'll of course be advertising it on the line during our distribution and all those good things and on social media. But word of mouth always helps. So we will be moving in the new year. Not an exact date yet, but we will be moving.
Okay, and also make sure that I get it, because I'll put it on the website. We have to change the pantry location there too.
Will do. Thanks, Susan.
Sure.
Hey, can we just ask Luann, could you put your email in the chat?
Oh, sure.
And who's 718-982-8662?
That's Samantha.
Okay, cool. Right.
Okay. All right. Are we good? Anything else?
So terrific turnout. Thank you. So we owe a big debt to Susan,
Yes.
who's done an incredible job professionalizing and crafting a network and a community that has sustained itself over the course of this pandemic and been life-saving for people without food. So a big round of applause for Susan. I don't know how you do that on Zoom.
I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to mention that as far as my plans right now is to continue to work on the website and continue to work on some of the projects, but I can't do the secretarial job anymore because I'm probably going to be teaching either 2 or 3 classes next semester, and that is already making me crazy.
Where are you teaching, Susan?
I teach, it's either going to be 1 or 2 classes at St. John's and then another class at Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Wow,
So,
wonderful.
yeah, thank you. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you all again in January. For probably I'll send out a notice when it is, and then we'll have the election. And if you want to nominate anybody else, or if you have any other ideas, send an email to hungry@statenisland.com .org. No,
Hungry at or on? Hungry on?
It's one of those, something like
Hungry
that.
on Staten Island.
Hungry on Staten Island @gmail.com. It's on the website. Okay.
Happy
you.
holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye now.